going to do a short lesson on poverty. What is poverty? Poverty means you do not have enough money to afford the basic needs for survival, such as shelter, food, and water. Many people are experiencing poverty in our world, even in our own communities. I want you to really think about the things that are important to you. Those might include sports, education, family, shelter, water, food, whatever you can think of that you are grateful for. Imagine if you did not have those things. How would you feel? I have a challenge for you. Try every day that you can to write down the things that are important to you. Pick one thing a day in your life that you are grateful for. It could be your family, your food, water, school. So pick one thing every day to write down. Explain what it is and why it is important to you. You can draw or paint it. And I want you to also try to use different kinds of fonts, such as bubble letters, capital letters, lowercase letters, squiggly letters, any letters you can think of to add some creativity to your journal. Eventually, you will have a book of all the things that you are thankful for. Title your book something that sparks you to think about things that you are grateful for. A bonus activity you can do in your journal is write down ways to help people in the community who are experiencing poverty. That could be helping people buy food, raising money so that people can afford food, anything you can think of. Remember to be thankful for what you have, because there are people in your community that do not have a home, do not have access to food, and cannot play sports or activities. Let's try and decrease poverty in our community. I chose to do an activity that tries to teach students about poverty in a way that is relatable to their own lives. This activity does connect to 3 Saskatchewan curriculum outcomes. The first 2 are social studies, which are determining the influence Saskatchewan people and programs have had on a national scale, and analyze the strategies Saskatchewan people have developed to meet the challenges presented by the natural environment. There's also 1 English language arts outcome, which is compose and create a range of visual, multimedia, oral, and written texts that explore identity, community, and social responsibility through personal experiences and inquiry. This reflection activity connects to my group's stretch topic, Through Poverty. Our stretch topic was about socioeconomic status affecting education, which then we connected to poverty. This activity has students think about the resources that have positive impacts on one's life, including education. This activity also has students think about not having these resources and how they would feel. This activity has students think about the things in their life that they are thankful for. As humans, we tend to forget what we have and how grateful we should be to have access to clean water, food, and education. There are many people in the world, even in our own communities, that are less fortunate and experiencing poverty and do not have access to these resources. Having students think about these things will hopefully have students realize the importance of these resources. For the purpose of this activity, a resource can be anything that's tangible or non-tangible. So a person's hockey team and clean drinking water are both considered to be resources. I want students to think about living in Saskatchewan and the challenges that we face living here as well. Living in Saskatchewan presents challenges through the environment. Some challenges include cold weather, high winds, large open spaces on the land. Many people in Canada have the resources to overcome these obstacles, but unfortunately some people don't. People in Saskatchewan experiencing poverty may not be able to overcome these obstacles because they do not have proper shelter, clothing, and other resources needed to survive. Another purpose of this activity is for students to take time alone and really think about the resources that they use, love, and participate in, and how those resources impact their lives. It is a time to be mindful and grateful of the resources we have access to, Even just living in Canada brings its own advantages. Critically thinking, as teachers, we need to note that being less fortunate can have different meanings depending on each student's background. When talking to students about poverty, you can include that poverty can look different for each person. But when someone is experiencing poverty, it means that they do not have the essential resources for a healthy lifestyle and, in some cases, survival. Another thing to be mindful of is some of your students may be experiencing poverty in their homes. They may be suffering from mental illness, may be experiencing difficult times with family, or maybe have health conditions that create extra challenges in daily life. Every student comes from a different background, and while one student may be thankful that they live in a huge house, another student might be just as thankful that they have enough food for supper. So teachers must respect each student and honor those differences.